This morning on Today's Money, the power of partnerships. In our highly competitive world, individual success is often the goal. But in business and in life, the right collaborations can lead to the greatest achievements. And no one knows that better than former Disney CEO Michael Eisner. He's put his knowledge into a new book called Working Together, Why Great Partnerships Succeed. Hey, Michael, welcome back.
Thank you, Matt.
Why'd you decide to explore the power of partnerships? What caught your attention?
I had a great partner in Frank Wells at Disney before he tragically died in a helicopter accident. I had a good partner at Paramount and at ABC, and I was talking to Warren Buffett and talking about this idea, and he said, well, write a book about it. I've got this great partner, Charlie Munger, and then I just got into it and started doing it.
If it really does help in success to have a great partner, let's face it, really successful people tend to have a strong sense of self. Some might say a healthy ego. So is it a great ability for someone with that kind of ego to be able to look and realize, I need a partner?
I think that people that do it only alone, who can't walk past the mirror without looking at themselves, who start believing their own rhetoric, tend to get in trouble. And if you have a partner and you understand it, one, you do better, and two, through a lot of studies I looked at, you are happier, you are healthier. Being in the foxhole with somebody, partner, a spouse, for instance,
right.
When things go bad, you got somebody to talk to. When things go well, you high-five with somebody.
In looking over the list of people you include, and you highlight some very popular or well-known or successful partnerships, a lot of time one of the people in the partnership is a name we all recognize, the other is not. Is that what makes it successful, that one person takes the front and the other stands behind the scenes?
Sometimes like Warren loves to play the ukulele and be on the cover of Fortune, and his partner, Charlie Munger, who most people haven't heard of, is behind the scenes but loves it. Valentino, this great fashion couture, has Giancarlo Giametti behind the scenes for 50 years.
So creative side, business side.
Sometimes it's like Ronnie Howard, the producer, and Brian Grazer, the director, and Brian, the producer, on all these Academy Award films, work great together. I looked at long partnerships, spousal partnerships, and business partnerships.
Well, that's interesting. Do you have to share a perspective if you're going to be great partners? Or in some ways, is it better if you come from different points of view? In other words, the yin and the yang.
Both are true, and I have examples. Each one of these things was kind of a short story I try to write about these partnerships. And some have that, and some are just the opposite. But what they all have is they leave their ego against their partner at the door. Warren Buffett said to me, it's like the 7 deadly sins. Lust, it could be fun, but you get in trouble later. Gluttony, eat too much. Envy, it is awful. You feel terrible at the beginning, you feel terrible during it, and you feel terrible at the end.
Do great partners have to like each other? Or is that not necessary?
They usually grow to like each other. Bad people make bad partners because they always turn on each other. We have tons of cases of that. Usually they like each other. They're not always best friends.
You cite an interesting partnership in the book. Ian Schrager and Steve Rebell, famously known for starting and running Studio 54 back in the day. And then they both ended up going to prison for skimming profits from that company. Why did you include them?
I was so interested in that era. There was the Vietnam era. It was just the kind of the beginning of the birth control pill, pre-AIDS. Drugs had hit the culture, and everything went wild. And these two partners were only for 1 year part of it, and then they went to jail together, same cell, and out of jail, solidified their partnership and created the boutique hotel.
So you're highlighting their partnership post-prison as opposed to pre-prison.
Both. They went to Syracuse together from Brooklyn. They didn't know each other until they got to Syracuse University. But they had this explosion in this culture that was weird. They went to jail, and they got their act together, and they created this whole idea of the boutique hotel. The interesting thing about partnerships is we teach our kids in kindergarten to share. Don't spit on your sister. Don't put sand on your sister. You get up in a middle school, the high school, it's all about individual success, being individual, being alone. I think that's the wrong message. We start off right with our kids, share, be partners, and later we honor individual achievement,
right.
And sometimes that individual achievement goes bad. Not always.
Back to another partnership. I work with a partner. I've got Meredith. We have not been sentenced to prison together yet. That could happen. So do we fit any of the criteria that makes a good partnership in your opinion?
You have to invite me back in 20 years because everybody I studied was two or 3 decades.
Somebody else will invite you back in 20 years.
It's still a question. It looks like it's working pretty well to me.
I'm not sure I'll be here. Michael Eisner, it's a fascinating subject. I appreciate your take on it.
Thank you, man.
Good to see you as well. The book is called Working Together.